My husband left me for my boss. But there's one thing he doesn't know about her. I joined this company a year ago and I loved it from day one. My boss, the owner, is amazing and inspiring. She built this business from scratch and she is passionate about her work. She does a lot of the hard work herself that other bosses would delegate. I admired her so much and I always told my husband how awesome she was. He seemed to share my admiration until he met her at a company party last Christmas. She is very attractive and elegant. She could have been a model. I think he developed a crush on her or maybe something stronger. He started to follow her on social media. He also followed the company account and liked every post she was in. He asked me about her all the time. She is very private, but we learned that she divorced her ex-husband earlier this year because he showed up at work. He owned half of the company and he tried to change our work conditions and pay. We found out that he had been unfaithful to her with a younger woman who he also tried to hire in our company. She eventually convinced him to sell her a share. We are still in this process now. My husband was very sad for her and very angry at her ex. How could anyone do that to such a wonderful woman? He said he would treat her better, love her more, etc. I got very angry and told him that all men prefer younger women if they have a chance. He laughed at me and said only losers do that. The last straw was last Friday. We went to see a movie and we saw my boss with a young man. He looked like he was in his 20s. My husband freaked out. He said he didn't know she dated younger men and he wanted us to go say hi, but I refused and told him to calm down because he looked ridiculous. When we got home he checked her social media obsessively. He found the guy and he was relieved. The guy was her nephew and they were out with other family members. My husband was so happy like he had dodged a bullet. I couldn't take it anymore. I cried and yelled at him and told him he was in love with her and he was shocked when I pushed him out of our bedroom. I locked the door. He tried to soothe me and told me he loved me and I was his only one. Then he said something that hurt me even more. It's not like someone like her would notice me. I haven't slept since then. Why does he feel like this? Is it love? Infatuation? She is too old for him, so what is it? And why would he think he is not good enough for her? He is very handsome and young. She should be grateful that a young handsome man likes her. And does he mean I am less than her to accept him? Or is it just her money and status? He won't admit anything. I love this job. I love the benefits. It has improved our life and we can afford more than just the basics. I started to hate my boss though and I hate myself for praising her in front of my husband. I went against my family and friends and asked my husband for a break. I felt like my heart was broken and my intuition told me that my husband was not fully mine. This was shortly after the movie night. My husband was confused. He said I was overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing, but he moved in with his brother. We decided to try couples counseling too. It went well for the first few weeks, but my husband became less and less cooperative and sometimes he just canceled on me at the last minute. He stopped showing up this month and he also stopped calling and texting me. I was even more heartbroken, but it just confirmed that my intuition was right and that I was doing the right thing since he didn't seem to care about us anymore. I didn't quit my job. I still loved it despite the pain and I really needed the benefits, like I'm the only one I know who has a 3-week paid vacation around Christmas and New Year. I never see my boss anyway and she doesn't even know who I am. My husband stopped being active on Instagram and I thought it was normal because we were having problems, but yesterday his brother shared his stories of the night. My husband was in a restaurant holding a woman's hand. I could only see her hand. So my husband had just blocked me and my family and friends from seeing his updates. This morning my husband called me, for the first time in months, totally scared and started begging. Please don't ruin this for me, please don't ruin this for me. I asked him, what do you mean? He said, don't tell her about us. I didn't get it at first. It never crossed my mind. That woman in the picture was my boss. I started crying and screaming at him. How could you do this to me? How could you tell me it was all in my head when it's obviously all over your Instagram? He said it just happened. I left him and he was single and he just met her on a dating app. He begged me not to ruin this for him. She knows he's in the process of divorce, but she doesn't know that he already knew who she was or that she was the boss of his ex. They have been seeing each other for 6 weeks and it is getting serious. He begged for a good 5 minutes, telling me how he had never been this happy in his life and that I shouldn't ruin his happiness since, again, I was the one who ended our marriage. I have been crying since this morning. I don't know what to do. I want to ruin him and his happiness, but I don't know if I have any right to do that and I'm so worried about losing my job. Please help.